We are only 3 days into the 49ers offseason and already so much has happened. Major shakeups at the coaching positions, major injury updates on some 49er star players. Where will this team go in 2026 and who might they add to get there? All those questions will be answered right here on Niners Digest. My name is Cameron Moniz and thank you for joining us here tonight. The offseason for the Niners is only 3 days old, but like I said, so much has happened. We've got a lot to talk about. But before we get there, we've got to talk about Kalshi, the sponsor of today's video. When you download Kalshi with that link down below and use code DIGESTNFL, you'll get $20 when you trade your first 100. Kalshi is the biggest sports prediction market in the US, and better than that, they're across all 50 states. California, Texas, it doesn't matter where you are, you can use Kalshi. And it's not just sports. You can trade on the weather, on politics, on any outcome possible. In my case, though, I'm going to be trading on sports. I want both of these teams to lose on Sunday, but if I got to pick one, I'm trading on the Rams, and I'm only doing it on Kalshi. So make sure you use that link down below. Use code DIGESTNFL, and again, you'll get $20 when you trade your first 100. Thank you so much to Kalshi for sponsoring this video, and let's dive right into the action. I want to start with the big news that we just got about Coach Saleh. But first, I want to bring a little joy. So let's talk about two of the 49er heroes that we got massive injury updates on, starting with George Kittle, the offensive leader. George Kittle said his Achilles surgery went as well as possible and the tear itself was high, which was ideal since no damage extended to his heel. He's in great spirits and will be ready to start attacking rehab in about a week. This coming from David Lombardi. This is big news because I think when all of us saw Kittle go down and we saw the Achilles rupture, we all expected he's going to miss the entire 2026 season. And it just feels like without Kittle, this team cannot win a championship. So we'd have to push our aspirations another year in advance. But now it seems like Kittle's probably going to play next season, and he might have a long shot of playing in week 1. Big time news for the Niners. We get our offensive leader back. And in addition, Fred Warner. 49ers linebacker Fred Warner said his ankle will not require any extra procedures or surgeries moving forward. Instead, he can slow down the accelerated process he was pushing so he could play again this year. I just get to kind of slow things down and really just work on all the little things that I didn't get to work on before all this happened. It's just business as usual. This coming from Nick Wagner. Another massive, massive update for this team because Niners, we know the importance of George Kittle on offense and Fred Warner on defense. And their play is only half the battle. It's the spirit, it's the leadership. Those are the two guys that make the Niners faithful. In all reality, those are the two guys that unite this fan base and make us 49er fans. So having both of them in line to be back for week 1 of next year, we're going to be back. But Robert Saleh will not. And we've got to talk about that. It's the elephant in the room. The Titans are set to hire former 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh as their new coach per the insiders. This is coming from Ian Rappaport. We saw it coming. We knew it would happen, but none of us wanted to accept it. It happened. And the Niners have been here before, and it wasn't pretty, but I believe in John Lynch. I believe in Kyle Shanahan to fill this void. We'll see what happens. We're going to miss Robert Saleh. But we're also getting rumblings that might not be all. Because the Raiders have requested permission to interview Clay Kubiak, the 49ers offensive coordinator, for their head coaching vacancy. I don't know, man. I don't know. If we lose both coordinators, that is a tough pill to swallow. And it's a reality we might be facing very soon. I trust John Lynch. I trust Kyle Shanahan. I'm sure they'll find a way. And let's dive into what that might look like. A name that I've been hearing is Raheem Morris. And I love Raheem Morris personally. He came from the Rams as the defensive coordinator. He was there in the championship window with Aaron Donald and that great defense. He knows the NFC West. This coming from 49ers Sports Talk. I expect 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan to go all in on Raheem Morris as defensive coordinator. It makes a lot of sense. He comes from the NFC West. He was here for 3 seasons, went to a Super Bowl and won it. He knows the Seattle offense. He knows the Niner offense. He knows the Rams offense. He knows the Cardinals offense. If we can get Raheem Morris to fill that void of Robert Saleh, an NFC West ball knower, we might be all right. And unfortunately, I had high hopes that we might even land Mike McDaniel. That was the word on the street just a few minutes ago. But as of this recording, I kid you not, 5 minutes ago, Mike McDaniel, it's not official. It seems as if he will be going to the Chargers. So if you're a Niner fan and you wanted this reunion, it seems unlikely. I can still hold out some hope, but it does seem like Mike McDaniel is going to go back to Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers. We'll see what happens. We're holding out hope, but let's continue on, because the Niners, one of the glaring holes this season, one of the biggest things that Niner fans, we all noticed, McCaffrey had nowhere to run. All season long, McCaffrey had nowhere to go. I know he had 1,000 scrimmage yards on each side of the ball, but he just wasn't pretty. He's averaging under 4 yards a carry. No big plays. And he took a beating out there. The Niners need to bolster this offensive line. And I know a lot of people have been calling for Tyler Linderbaum from the Ravens, the center. But the Niners have a lot of money tied up. And Elijah Vera Tucker from the New York Jets, he makes a lot of sense. He's been injured, which he already fits on the Niners. He's been injured a lot. He's been injured, and the Niners could snag him for a decent price and throw him in at left guard. The Niners need to do something about this line. Elijah Vera Tucker makes a lot of sense. He was a first-round pick, top 12, top 15. Don't quote me on that. I believe it was a 14th overall pick. He makes a lot of sense, both for the team needs and financially. And one big thing about this team was their speed and their lack of speed, which really showed up against the Seahawks. The Niners' 3 fastest ball carriers in the playoffs were Jauan Jennings, Sky Moore, and Brock Purdy. When your fastest ball carrier ran a 4.8, a 4.72 in the 40, respectfully, you need to add some speed in this offense. This coming again from 49ers Sports Talk. It's true. The Niners looked slow out there. And I'd love to bring back Jauan Jennings, but if you can go get another speedster instead, like an Alec Pierce, I think the Niners could look into that. Alec Pierce this season, 47 catches, career high, 1,003 yards, career high, and 6 touchdowns. Free agent to be. Now, I know 47 catches isn't a crazy number. I know that 6 touchdowns isn't a crazy number. But when you look at the 49ers team, how much they spread the ball around, Alec Pierce is a deep threat. He's a fast, he's a vertical threat. The Niners don't really have that right now. If you bring him in here, maybe you get Jennings back. You've got Pearsall if he can stay healthy. You got Kittle. Bring some speed into this team. Bring some vertical speed. Bring some energy. If you can't get Alec Pierce, there's another receiver I like a lot. He's known for his guardian cap, but I know him for his football skill. That's Romeo Doubs. The Packers have a bunch of wide receiver 2s. Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed. They just drafted Matthew Golden, Dontavian Wicks. Even Tucker Kraft is an incredible pass catcher. They have an embarrassment of riches at receiver. And Doubs is going to be a free agent. I can't imagine with that many receivers that he's going to be very high on their list. Romeo Doubs makes a lot of sense for this 49ers team. He's not as fast as an Alec Pierce. He's not as much of the vertical threat, but he is a dog. He is a really good wide receiver. And the 49ers are lacking a consistent presence out there. Ayuk's gone. Jennings has been good, but he's in and out of the lineup a little bit. And Ricky Pearsall, he misses games and stretches. I know that to say that Ricky has an injury history is unfair, because what happened to him was unfair. But as time has gone on, he's not available. The Niners need availability, and these 2 guys make a lot of sense. They're available, and they're really good receivers. They've got different assets. Now, it's not just offense that the Niners need. If you watched any game this season, if you watched the playoffs specifically, the Niners generate no pass rush at all. 0. There was no pressure on Sam Darnold. There's no pressure on Jalen Hurts. These quarterbacks have all day, and I know that getting Nick Bosa and Micah Williams will naturally fix that. But we saw with the Eagles last season, you cannot have enough edge rushing. You cannot have enough interior presence. The Eagles destroyed the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Mahomes was under insane pressure all game. They never blitzed. They rushed 4 on every play pretty much. Jalen Carter and those guys inside, they got so much pressure that it turned Mahomes, it just crumbled the Chiefs. Having an offensive line and a defensive line that are powerful is the way you win in football. And I'm looking at Trey Hendrickson from the Cincinnati Bengals. He's had some problems with the front office. They don't want to pay him, this, that, the other. A year ago, he was the sacks leader, and I know he's a little older. I know he's in his early 30s. The Niners, the window is really closing. Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, all these guys, you got to go for it one more time. Take a big swing. Go for a Trey Hendrickson. Bring in someone like that, a game-changing lineman. Bosa here and Hendrickson here. Michael Williams. Insane pass rush. And you got to compete with these NFC West teams because they're not going to go anywhere. Winning 10 or 11 games next season is not going to win the West. These teams, if you look at Seattle and the Rams alone, their front four is brutal. Jared Verse and Byron Young and all these, God, my goodness, they just get in there. It's ridiculous. Another area where the Niners can improve, and I know it sounds crazy to say improve when you've got Fred Warner in a position group, is linebacker. Eric Kendricks and Garrett Waddle played really good at the end of the year in the playoffs, but that's not going to happen again. That was the Niners, in all honesty, that was a good week. It was some good luck. Eric Kendricks is a great linebacker in this league. He's older. Garrett Wallow, yeah, he's okay. Tatum Bethune, hard hitting. I love the way he plays, but he gets burnt in coverage a lot, and sometimes he gets mixed up. He seems like he doesn't know where he's supposed to be. And D. Winters is this kind of the same. Quay Walker, Green Bay Packers. They've got linebackers. They've got Edgerrin Cooper. They've got Isaiah McDuffie. They've got linebackers. And Quay Walker is a free agent. Quay Walker makes a lot of sense for the 49ers. Quay Walker reminds me of Dre Greenlaw. He's a really good coverage linebacker who hits hard. He is a ball-hawking, hard-hitting linebacker. You put him with Fred Warner, that's a problem. Trey Hendrickson, Quay Walker, and if you want to get crazy, I want to bring in Jamel Dean or any veteran secondary presence because our secondary has some good players in it. Upton Stout, 5'9" dog. He is a 5'9", 185-pound dog. I mentioned that in the last episode. He's a small dude, but he plays like a monster. Jair Brown, he's had his moments. Malik Mustafa's had his moments. We don't have a veteran presence in the secondary, and the Niners could really use it. They could really use it. So Jed York, if you're watching Niners Digest, which I know you are, the Niners wish list, Alec Pierce, Romeo Doubs, Trey Hendrickson, Quay Walker, Jamel Dean, and let's get Vera Tucker in there on the line. There he is. For Niners Digest, my name is Cameron Moniz. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight and discussing the future of this Niners team. We might not have Robert Saleh anymore, and we might lose Clay Kubiak, but we've got Kyle Shanahan, we've got Brock Purdy, we've got our playmakers, we've got Freddie coming back and Kittle coming back. There is a light at the end of this tunnel. This offseason should be a crazy one. We'll keep you updated on every step of the way. Thank you again, and we'll see you on the next one.